We're going to practice writing full electron configurations for these elements. And so an electron configuration is going to show the energy level, which is the period number, the type of orbital, which is the block letter where the element is located, and then the number of electrons in this orbital or subshell, which is going to be which column in that block. So we're going to start with hydrogen, and here is our periodic table. And so because hydrogen is on row number 1, it's going to say 1. It is in the S block because this is the S block. So it's going to be 1s. And then because it's in the first of the two columns, it's going to be 1s1. And so that's our answer for hydrogen. Next is going to be helium. And helium is located here. And it is element number 2. So it's going to be on row number 1. So it's going to go 1. It's, even though it's not right here, it would be right here, and so it is part of the S block, so it's going to be 1s, and then it's 1s1, 1s2, because there are only 2 columns in the S block. So helium is going to be 1s2. S2. Next is lithium, and lithium is located here. So it's on row number 2, so we're going to have to go through row number 1 first, and then we're going to end on lithium in row number 2. So row 1 is 1s2, 1s2, and now it's going to be row 2. Lithium is in the S block, and it is in the first column of the S block, so it's going to be 1s2, 2s1, 2s1. Next is beryllium. Here's beryllium on the periodic table. It's on row number 2. We have to go through row 1 first. So it's going to be 1s2. And now we're on row number 2. So I'm going to write 2. Beryllium is in the S block, so 2s. And then it is in the second column, so it's 2s2. And that's going to be the electron configuration of beryllium. So 1s2, 2s2. Next is boron. Here is boron, and we're going to have to go through the first row. Boron is on the second row. So when we go through the first row, it's going to be 1s2, 1s2. And then we're going to go through the S block, so that's 2s2, 2s2, and now we're in the P block, which is here, and so it's going to be row 2, P block, and then I'm the first of 6 columns in, so it's going to be 2p1, 2p1. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p1 is boron. Boron is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Next is carbon. There's carbon, row number 2. So in order to write carbon, first we have to go through row number 1, and then we're going to go to row number 2. So row 1 is 1s2, 1s2. Now I'm on row number 2. When I go through here, this is 2s2, 2s2, and now I'm in the P block, and I'm going to stop here at carbon. So it's 2, row 2, it's the P block, and it's the second column into the P block, so it's 2p2. Carbon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Now let's do nitrogen. Nitrogen is found here. It's on row 2. So first we have to go through row number 1 before we go to row number 2. So row 1 is 1s2. Now I'm on row 2. I'm going to go through the 2s2 section. And now I'm going to come across, and I'm going to go from here to nitrogen. Row 2, P block, 1, 2, third column in, so it's 2p3. So nitrogen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Okay, what about oxygen? Here's oxygen, It's on row number 2. So first I'm going to go through row number 1, and then I'm going to go across row 2. So row number 1 is 1s2, 1s2, 2s2 is right here, and now it's row 2, p block, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks in. So it's 2p4 is going to be oxygen. So oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Okay, next we'll do fluorine. Here is fluorine. So we're going to go through row 1 first, and then we'll go across row number 2. Row number 1 is 1s2, and then 2s2, 2s2, and then 2p, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2p5. Row 2, p block, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth column in. So fluorine is 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. Next is neon. Here is neon. It's still on row 2. So we have to go through row 1 and then all the way across row number 2. So when I go through row 1, I get 1s2. Then now I'm on row 2, 2s2. And now it's 2p, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2p6. Row 2, p block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks into the p block. So neon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. All right, now we're on sodium, which starts on row 3. Here is sodium, and so it's on row 3. I've got to go through row 1, through row 2, and then I'm going to start row 3 at the sodium. So row number 1, when I go through it, I get 1s2, 1s2. Then here is 2s2. We're going to go ahead all the way through 2p6. And now I'm on row 3. So it's row 3. We are in the S block, and I'm the first column in. It's 3s1. So sodium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. Next is magnesium. Magnesium is here. So I'm going to start with row 1, go across row 2, and then I'm going to come into row 3. So row number 1 is 1s2, 1s2. Row 2 is 2s2. All the way across to here, 2p6. And now I'm on row 3, I'm in the S block, S, and then I'm the second column into the S block, so it's 3s2. So magnesium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Okay, one more, aluminum. Here is aluminum, and it's still on row 3, so we're going to go through row 1, through row 2, and we're going to go partly through row 3. So when I go through row 1, it's 1s2, 1s2. Go across row 2, 2s2. All the way across the 2p block, 2p6. Then I'm on row 3. I'm going to go through the 3s section, 3s2. And now I'm in 3p. I'm only one block in. It's 3, this is the p block, p, and this is the first column into the p block, so it's 3p1. So aluminum is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1.